Every great band needs a heartbeat, and for Fleetwood Mac, that heartbeat has always been Mick Fleetwood. Through decades of triumphs, heartbreaks, and reinventions, he's been the one constant force keeping the band alive. But behind his towering presence and steady drumming lies a story of doubt, perseverance, and a legacy built not on flash, but on feel. Welcome to Rock Fame Diaries, where today we uncover the story of Mick Fleetwood, the man who turned rhythm into history. Long before Fleetwood Mac filled stadiums, Mick Fleetwood was chasing gigs across London in the mid-1960s. He played with several bands, the Shanes, the Bow Street Runners, and Shotgun Express, which interestingly featured a young Rod Stewart on vocals. But it was his time with John Mayall's Bluesbreakers that set the stage for something bigger. London's blues scene was crawling with talent, and Mick was suddenly surrounded by future rock legends. Yet, even then, he carried a sense of insecurity. He was asked to step in for Aynsley Dunbar, a drummer widely respected for his technical brilliance. Mick admitted later that he felt unworthy, confessing, "What are you talking about? I can't do that." But guitarist Peter Green reassured him, "That's exactly why we want you, because you can't do that." It was never about technical perfection, it was about instinct. Mick's groove, his timing, and his feel were what made him special. In 1967, Fleetwood joined forces with Peter Green and bassist John McVie. Together, they formed Fleetwood Mac, named after Mick and John, a rare honor in itself. At first, the band was firmly rooted in blues, releasing tracks like Black Magic Woman and Shake Your Moneymaker. These songs showcased their raw energy and cemented their place in the British blues explosion. But the band would not stay in one lane. Over time, new members like Christine McVie, Lindsey Buckingham, and Stevie Nicks arrived, reshaping Fleetwood Mac's sound from blues to polished pop rock. This transformation would eventually launch them into superstardom. What set Mick apart wasn't technical fireworks, but his ability to keep the band grounded through constant change. His tall frame and hypnotic stage presence made him unforgettable, but it was his drumming that held the band's sprawling sound together. One of his most famous touches was on "Oh Well," where his use of the cowbell turned a blues track into something iconic. Even Lindsey Buckingham once praised Mick's instinct, calling his style both primal and intelligent, a mix few drummers could ever balance. Through lineup shifts, romantic turmoil, and near breakups, Mick's presence was the glue. Without him, Fleetwood Mac might never have survived the storm. The band's defining moment came in 1977 with the release of Rumours. It wasn't just an album, it was a cultural event. Packed with classics like Go Your Own Way and Dreams, it became one of the best-selling albums in history, moving over 40 million copies worldwide. Ironically, much of its magic came from turmoil. Broken relationships, jealousy, and emotional chaos were poured into the music. Yet through it all, Mick remained the steady hand, guiding the rhythm and ensuring the chaos turned into something timeless. While his main legacy will always be tied to Fleetwood Mac, Mick also ventured into solo projects. Albums like The Visitor 1981 and I'm Not Me 1983 revealed a drummer willing to experiment, drawing influences from African rhythms and world music. These side projects reminded fans that Mick wasn't just a band anchor, he was an artist in his own right. Despite his legendary status, Mick never saw himself as untouchable. In interviews, he openly admitted there were drummers he could never match. Aynsley Dunbar, whose technical brilliance he once felt inadequate to follow, was one. The other was Ginger Baker of Cream, a man whose fiery personality matched his explosive drumming style. When Baker passed away in 2019, Mick said, "His talent was in a realm far beyond my reach." Honestly, most of us drummers viewed him as an original, untouchable. This humility is what made Mick stand out, not just as a musician, but as a person. Even after shaping one of the greatest bands in rock history, he still paid tribute to those he admired. Mick Fleetwood's story is more than just beats and rhythm. It's about resilience, instinct, and the ability to lead from behind. From smoky blues clubs in London to the heights of global superstardom, he proved that sometimes the most powerful voices in rock history don't come from the microphone, but from the drums. Now, let me throw this to you. Which drummer, past or present, do you think has left the biggest mark on rock music? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this debate is one worth having. Thanks for joining me on this journey through the life and legacy of Mick Fleetwood. If you love stories about rock legends and the music that shaped generations, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. This is Rock Fame Diaries, where rock history lives on.